Hello everybody and welcome back inside the box for another episode of Gunpla Kitbash with me, Kukamatsu. In this episode, it's time for some easy kit bashing to get us to the end of this build and ready for painting. So, let's jump right in. Okay, the feet and legs are basically done now. It's still a little bit loosey-goosey because nothing is glued on. It's all just stuck on with sticky tack, so the spacing and everything will be a lot better. But overall, I think it's working pretty well. I ended up putting these guys back on. I took them off early on in the build because I was thinking making it sleek in there. But because the lower legs are so wide, I really felt that the upper legs looked too skinny without those. So I just stuck them back on there, and I think it actually does work a lot better. The other plan is to put this on there something like that. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is something with the arms. I think I talked about this early on in the build about these forearms. I have always found it strange that there are these like rounded organic shaped legs and then really blocky forearms. And I have some other kits that have more rounded forearms, so that's something that I want to play with a little bit. In fact, the one I'm thinking of specifically is the Master Grade Blitz Gundam. You can actually see that his chest plate is missing, his hands are missing. I use that in other projects. So I'm thinking of the possibility of using these arms. These arms have the same upper arm and inner mechanism as the Strike. So that means I could just pull one off and stick the other one on. There we go, I just popped those on there. That will be a fairly simple solution to the problem, I think, if it works out. What do you think? Okay, so well, I had another idea. So I was just looking, because I have two of these kits. I have one that I had previously built and then stole a bunch of parts for other kits. I have this extra. This is the back armor plates. And I was just looking at this detail. It's pretty cool. I wonder if there's a way to bring that to the front. So I'm thinking about just cutting this off, sticking it on to this other plate on the front, and just see if there's an easy way to sort of attach that there that looks cool. I think that could look pretty neat if I could get it to sit on there nicely so it's not too much of a transition. I can put a little border of styrene along there. I want to trim on the same angle as that, so that when I put the other styrene against it, it'll be the right angle. There we go. Pretty simple process, but I think it adds a lot. I do love it when it works the first time and you put the gray on there and it just looks good. It's very satisfying. I think that's a nice little extra detail. Okay, let's pull off these Blitz Gundam arms and tear them apart and see what we're dealing with here. That's kind of what I was hoping for, that this piece would be already separate. I was pretty sure that it was. And that makes it nice and sleek, and now I need to find something that can fit into that space that isn't as chunky as this. So I was just looking through my boneyard and found this RX-178 Mark II Gundam, Master Grade. I just noticed this little piece here that looks quite interesting, and it's similar shape to the opening that we've made in the side of the arm. It even has kind of like a hinge thingy at the top. I'd have to dig out a little bit of stuff in there, but I could kind of fit it on there like that, have it in the open position, and then maybe have some little mechanical thing, just a small thing sticking out there so it looks like the hatch is opened and there's something in there worth popping up. I found these bits. I think these are originally from the RX-78-2 version 3.0. I would end up drilling out the end a little bit to make it look like a little weapon sticking out there. And I'm gonna have to clear out some of this stuff here, just let it sit in a bit. I'll just start by clearing off this stuff. I mean, conceptually, I think that's gonna work. When I drill out something like this, I usually start with a pretty small drill bit and just to try and get it centered. To start, easier to get a small drill bit going. See, I'm creating a little divot there. I just want to get it far enough so that you can't really see the back. It's all in shadow. And then I'm going to open that up a little bit with a bigger one. I'm going to say maybe this one. This is a 3mm. Well, it turned out to be a pretty simple mod. And I think it looks good just like that. Got the little hinge thing going there. Little gun sticking out. It's nice to sometimes have just these little additions that don't take a lot of time, don't take a lot of work, but I think add a lot to the overall effect of the model. And there we have it, both sides done. Super easy, effective. I'm quite happy with that. I'd like to do something with the pauldrons. I have these pieces that I took off the arm, and I was thinking about somehow fitting them in there. And the other idea I had was, I really love this shape here, and I wish it was more prominent. You never really see it because it's pointing down, but since I have the other one, I thought maybe I could take this off and somehow use it on there. So I'm just going to pop it off this model. The idea is just to put it on there, just to extend it out a little bit. It just gives that extra little interest to the silhouette by extending that down a little bit. Because of the shape of this coming back in, it leaves this little hole right here, which I'm not super crazy about. So I may have to do a little bit of filling in that area just to make it not drive me crazy. What I'm thinking is just taking this piece of styrene and putting it in there as an extra little border element or something like that. Such a simple little thing, but I think it does add a lot in terms of detail. Just want to add a couple of little details to this piece here. Just because this is so flat, I just feel like the transition from that to everything else is a little too simple. Just thinking of sticking it on the end, something like that. And I also found these little round pieces, and I'm thinking of just sticking them in the top here. And there we go. Simple, easy, but effective. And that is the end of the episode. The modifications for this kit are done. In the next episode, we'll be ready to paint. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you gave me a like down below. Check out the playlist for previous videos. Subscribe if you want to follow along, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.